Alright guys, very good morning to everyone. I don't know at what time you're watching this, but it's a morning for me. I think as you all know, we had several lectures for KB5, but due to some unforeseen events, we were unable to have a couple of lectures. So today, I intend to cover those lectures, and what I intend to do is do some questions from other professional qualifications. As you know, then in chartered accounts, you have KB5, the past papers. But sometimes it is always better to do some past paper questions from maybe from CIMA related to this subject, maybe from ACCA related to this subject. So that is what I intend to do today. So let's see how it goes. Right. So moving forward, I think this was a model that we have already discussed, which is product life cycle, and product life cycle has 4 stages. We discussed about it. So we have already discussed about this model, so I don't want to go through this model again. And there are several stages, which is introduction stage, a growth stage, a maturity stage, and a decline stage. And then initially, let's go through the questions. Yeah. So guys, this is the question. I hope it is very clear. So this is question number 1. There you go. I think now it is better. Yes. Yeah. So we'll start with the requirement. It says, briefly explain how the product lifecycle model can be used to analyze the current product portfolio of 3 Cs. So you know what the product lifecycle model is, and what we have to do here is we have to explain how the model can be used in in evaluating the product portfolio. Then afterwards, it says evaluate the potential impact of each of the 3 investment options, alpha 2, beta and gamma, on the product portfolio of 3C, referring to your answer in part A above. Okay. So I think alpha, beta and gamma may be it may be the questions, it may be the products, it may be the products of this particular scenario. So we will have to read it and see. Okay. So best thing is you can pause this video and then read the question. Pause the video and you can read the question. So I hope you have done that. So let's read the question together. 3C is a medium-sized pharmaceutical company. It is based in Sri Lanka, but distributes and sells its products worldwide. In common with other pharmaceutical companies, 3C has a large number of products in its portfolio. Now, අපි පළවෙනි sentence එක කියවුවම අපිට තේරෙනවා it's a medium sized company. Now guys, all of this information is very important when you draft your answer. When you draft your answer, all of this information is very important. Medium sized company. Distributes and sells products worldwide. It's a pharmaceutical company. So the pharmaceutical companies පිළිබඳව මම කිසි idea එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Now we have GSK, right? Likewise, if you take there is a company called Pfizer. Pfizer is I think UK company. Then there's another company called Bayer, Pfizer. Then in Sri Lanka we have GSK, GlaxoSmithKline. Likewise, there are so many pharmaceutical companies. Then what I am trying to say is, අපි මොකක් කරේ question එකක් read කරනකොට when we are reading a question a industry එක ගැන we should have a particular idea. Without having a particular idea, it is very difficult for us to draft, practical solutions. අර අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාට දැන් product life cycle කියලා කිව්වොත් sometimes we tend to just write about the introduction stage, whatever that we have learnt in the KB5 study text. එතකොට අපි ගත්තොත් if you take product introduction stage, growth stage, the maturity stage and the declaration, we just go on writing things that we have learned, which is not the best way to do. Whenever you read a scenario, you need to have an idea regarding the insights of that industry. How are you going to cover that before you go for your exam? How you will cover is the more the more questions you do, the better it is. The more questions you do, the better it is. So there you go. Then it says, in common with other pharmaceutical companies, 3C has a large number of products. So product portfolio expanded. It's a bit large. In its portfolio, through most of these are still being developed. Certain things are still being developed. The success rate of new drugs is very low, as most fail to complete clinical trials are believed to be uneconomic to launch. ඒ කියන්නේ products ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. නමුත් සමහරක් products අර clinical trials pass වෙන්නේ නැහැ. It fails to complete the clinical trial. Then only it becomes a viable product to be purchased. And then the other one is uneconomic. It can be profitable to be launched. However, it says the rewards to be gained from a successful new drug are so great that it is only necessary to have a few successful drugs on the market to be very profitable. So what they are trying to say is, if you can somehow get hold of a new drug, if you can get hold of a new drug, that will be value adding. Because if there is a new drug, the potential of that drug and the revenue that it will make is very high. At present, 3C has 240 drugs. The 240 කියන්නේ සෑහෙන ලොකු ප්‍රමාණයක්. At various stages of development, being tested or undergoing clinical trials prior to a decision being made whether to launch the drug. 3C has only 3 products that are actually on the market. Yes, there are only 3 products. Look, first one, Epsilon. Epsilon is a drug used in the treatment of heart disease. එතකොට currently market එකේ විකුණන්නේ මේගොල්ලොන්ගෙන් drugs 3යි. It has been available for 8 months and has achieved significant success. එතකොට මේ Epsilon කියන්නේ මේ heart disease එකට තියෙන drug එක. එතකොට it is only available for 8 months. Sales of this drug are not expected to increase from their current level. Okay. Then the next one, they say alpha is a painkiller. It was launched more than 10 years ago and has become one of the leading drugs in its class. In a few months, the patent of this drug will expire and other manufacturers will be allowed to produce generic copies of it. Alpha is expected to survive a further 12 months after it loses its patent and will then be withdrawn. Okay. So if you look at alpha, it is a painkiller. එතකොට මේ painkiller එක අවුරුදු 10ක් තිස්සේ තිබ්බ කියන කතාව තමයි මේගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ. And it is one of the best drugs in its class. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒ category එකේ painkillers category එකේ it is a leading drug. දැන් මේකේ තව කතාවක් තියෙනවා. Now guys, the other thing is, if you take when you go to a pharmacy අපි කවදාවත් ගිහිල්ලා ඔය product එකේ brand name එකෙන් අපි product එක ඉල්ලන්නේ නැහැ. That is another thing that you know when you are that is another thing that you need to know when you are going through a scenario in KB5. Now if you take like certain products, you ask with the brand name. For example, you go to a shop, you want to buy a phone, you will say මට Apple phone එකක් ඕන. I want a Samsung. Right? You will not just say මට කැමති phone එකක් දෙන්න කියලා. But when you go to a pharmacy, you will say මට pain killer එකක් ඕන. You will not ask for that drug specifically unless a doctor will write it for you. Unless without a doctor's prescription, you will not go for anything of that nature. So this is the important thing. Now for example, I think Panadol in Sri Lanka had that. Now when you sometimes ask for a drug, you might say, some people say mata Panadol එකක් දෙන්න. But most of the time vitamins, එතකොට supplements, vitamins, minerals, supplements, all of these you don't ask from the brand. You will always ask mata vitamin C එකක් දෙන්න. Vitamin C එන brands ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. මට vitamin D එක දෙන්න කියලා. Vitamin D තියෙන brands ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. So therefore it is very uncommon, and I would say it's very rare that a person will ask the brand by its name when it comes to pharmaceutical. වෙන products වල වෙන කතා. So they say in a few months the patent on this drug will expire and other manufacturers will be allowed to where did I miss? Did I miss anything? Where is it? Will be allowed to produce generic copies. Alpha is expected to survive a further 12 months after it loses its patent and will then be withdrawn. Beta is used in the hospital treatment of serious infections. It is a very specialized drug and cannot be obtained from a doctor or a pharmacist for use outside the hospital environment. So it's a specialized drug for an infection. It was launched only 3 months ago and has yet to generate significant sales. The directors of 3C meet every month to review the product portfolio and discuss the possible investment opportunities. At the next meeting, they are to be asked to consider 3 investments due to a limited investment budget. The 3 investments are mutually exclusive. Right. So you have to select that is they will only be able to invest in mutually exclusive. Again, you cannot take it together. Mutually group එකකින් you have to select one. Mutually exclusive කියන්නේ ඒක. The options are as follows. So they have 2 options. Yes. So guys, I think අපේ අර පළවෙනි question එකට for our first question, which is when මේක, let me highlight that part. Yes. Briefly explain how the product lifecycle model can be used to analyze the current product portfolio of 3C. That is before the planned investment. So actually speaking, you will have to write an answer with what I just discussed. So can I give you like 5 minutes for you to write an answer in terms of the evaluation. Just I don't want you to write a in detail answer, but will it be possible for you to write some answer points? Just write some answer points that you think is possible or you think that would add value, and write the answer points that you will write at the exam day. Okay, please go ahead. Yeah, so I hope you read it. Okay, so guys, now let's go through the answer. Yeah, so this was the question. Briefly explain how the product life cycle model can be explained. Model can be used to analyze the current product portfolio of 3C. That is before the planned investment. Hari. The product life cycle breaks the life of the product down into 5 phases: development, introduction, growth and maturity and decline. Now, then අපි බැලුවොත් ඔය examiner ගේ answer එකේ in the examiner's answer also you see sometimes the examiner starts the answer with a brief explanation of that particular model. So that is why I have included this. Balanced portfolio of products is one that has products in all stages of the life cycle. That means if your portfolio is well balanced, one indicator is that in the in the PLC product life cycle graph, you need to have products in each stage of the life cycle and overall generate sufficient profits, cash to meet organization's objectives. This means that as one product enters decline, another emerging from growth to replace it. Right. Now let's look at for 3C. At the development stage, there are 240 drugs. So that is what they say. Introduction and early growth, you could say beta. Okay. Let's look at beta. This is what you read on beta. So beta is this area, this particular part. So this is beta. They say beta is used in the hospital treatment of serious infections. It is very specialized drug and cannot be obtained from a doctor, pharmacist, used outside the hospital. That doesn't tell you that it is introduction or early growth. It was launched only 3 months ago, and that is the point. It was launched only 3 months ago and has yet to generate a significant sales volume. Sales are not significant but growing. That means either introduction or early growth. So that that conclusion is okay. This conclusion is fine. Epsilon says early maturity. Epsilon is early maturity. What is epsilon? This was epsilon. Let's see why they took it to early maturity. This is a drug used in the treatment of heart disease. It has been available for 8 months and has achieved significant success. Sales of this drug are not expected to increase from their current level. So you could say early maturity because the critical point here is මේ sentence එක. Sales of this drug are not expected to increase from their current level. ඒකට match. අපි දන්නවා PLC graph එකේ once you come to maturity එකෙන් පස්සේ තියෙන decline එක. එතකොට if they say sales of this drug is not expected to increase, that means maturity. The maturity එකෙන් එහෙම වෙන්නේ. Sales will increase up to a particular point and then it will fall. එතකොට ඊළඟ phase එක falling නම් it has to be maturity. So that is very clear නේද? It's very clear that it is early maturity. Then the last one is alpha. Alpha, I have said late maturity. For you to get a good idea of what is early maturity and late maturity, you can look at this chart. So the chart explains that whether this is what is early maturity and what is late maturity. So as you can see here, this is the drugs which are at the development stage. This is the beta, which is at introduction. Epsilon is late, not late, early maturity. That is epsilon. And alpha is late maturity. So you got early maturity and you have late maturity. So there you go. Now if you look at alpha, this is what they say for alpha. Alpha is a painkiller. It was launched more than 10 years ago and has become one of the leading drugs in its class. In a few months, the patent of this drug will expire and other manufacturers will be allowed to produce generic copies. Alpha is expected to survive 12 months only. That is the point. Alpha is expected to survive only 12 months. And then it will be withdrawn. Anivaring late maturity because if you are withdrawing it, you will withdraw after it declines. So then it is very clear that it will be a product that will be facing the the decline stage, right? So let's look at how we do the evaluation for this. Answer plan. The product portfolio of 3Cs appears at the first sight to be fairly well balanced, because I think it is very clear that all the products are at different stages of the product life cycle. So it seems to be very balanced. And then in order to make definitive judgment, it would be necessary to have further information about the likely success rate of development projects and the relative sales and profit cash profiles of beta and epsilon. අපි කියන්නේ මේ information තව ටිකක් වැඩිපුර තිබ්බනම් we will be able to give better information. And that is a good point, guys. Now actually when you are writing an answer, when you draft an answer, it is very important for you to mention that if there are certain information items which are limited, if there are certain information items which are which is not available, in your answer you can always mention that. It will always add value to your answer, because if you can always say information I would be able to give a better conclusion like this. If I had this, I will be able to give a better conclusion. So the more you explain about it, the more you harp on it, the examiner gets a better idea that you are trying to form a very what we call as a very effective answer, right? Then there you go. That is the answer for question number 1, right? Now a particular student might worry whether that answer was sufficient. Yes, because look at the verb. මෙතන පොඩ්ඩක් verb එක දිහා බලන්න. සමහරක් කට්ටිය හිතලා ඒ answer එක is it sufficient? Answer is yes, because look at the verb. Verb says briefly explain. Briefly explain how the product life cycle model can be used to analyze the current product portfolio of 3C. So here the question is, may product life cycle in the product life cycle model, the question is not about product life cycle beta introduction. Product life cycle epsilon late early maturity, alpha late maturity. That is not the point, brother. The point is, the examiner is asking you how you could use product life cycle to analyze the portfolio. Then what is the main substance of this? Analyzing the portfolio is all about mentioning whether this is well balanced or not. So I think as you can see, fairly well balanced. That is the point. So this is the point. This is what the examiner is asking you. Fairly well balanced. well balanced කියලා කියන්නේ. certain products are at the introduction stage. Some products development stage. Because clinical trials pass when no. So certain products are at the development stage. Then if you take a product like beta, it is at the introduction stage. Then if you take epsilon, is at the growth. It's actually not growth. It is actually early maturity, and alpha is at late maturity. So this is what the examiner is asking. Then how many students, how many of you all will, write an answer saying beta should come to introduction because of this, epsilon should come to late or early maturity because of this? No, that is not the product life cycle model like we can use to say whether this is well balanced or not. That is what is expected from you. Okay, I think answering to what the examiner is asking is also an important part. Then api ituru tika time. This is the part B area. Yeah. So starting from here, no. At the next meeting, I'm starting from here. At the next meeting, they are to be asked to consider 3 investments due to a limited investment budget. The 3 investments are mutually exclusive. That means you can take only one. We discussed that before. The options are as follows. The directors can invest in a new version of Alpha, Alpha 2, which offers improved performance. This will allow 3C to apply for a new patent for Alpha 2. What the Alpha is? Alpha is the painkiller. The painkiller will be withdrawn. Yes. They want to further develop this product. That is what they want to do. The development the name that they are trying to give this is Alpha 2. Which offers improved performance. It will perform well. This will allow 3C to apply for a new patent for Alpha 2 and maintain the level of sales achieved by Alpha for an additional 5 years. Again, the make anything. Alpha is at the maturity stage. Maturity in pass maturity. Another point to note is samharak products maturity level there are certain products that can be there at maturity level for a long time. So they are trying to develop the product. The example if you take something like Coca-Cola, people were accusing Coca-Cola saying that their products had a lot of sugar. So what did they do? They came up with Coke Zero and they came up with different developments of Coke. Coke is Coke, but there were different developments of Coke. Coke Zero, Diet Coke. Developments are maturity level. They make a growing product. Growing products are like tablet PCs, mobile phones. Now everyone is waiting till the new iPhone comes. People are waiting till the new Samsung phone comes. Maybe people are waiting till the next Huawei phone comes. I don't know. Maybe people are waiting till the new improved version of Google technology comes. Google Glass was introduced. The Google Glass it is like a smart glass, smartphone. You get the smart glass. So Google Glass, I think Google went for a. Actually, it was a merger or an acquisition. I can't exactly remember with Lakshotika. Lakshotika was a glass eyewear company. They sell for about $500 million. Lakshotika, yes, that is the correct one. Lakshotika and Google, it was not a merger, it was a strategic alliance. Right. Strategic alliance. Google was giving their technical know-how to Lakshotika. Lakshotika gave the database. Lakshotika gave the database and the customer base. that they were selling their products to Google. So it was a win-win situation. Google gives the technology to Lakshotika, whereas Lakshotika gives the their database and other strategies that they were implementing to Google. Anyway, coming back to this, so this is a further development. It's very clear. The directors can invest in a major marketing campaign to promote the use of beta to specialist hospital staff. While this investment should lead to a significant growth in sales of beta, 3C is aware that one of its competitors is actively promoting the rival product with a similar performance that of beta. Right. Megalum beta promote karanna, they are trying to use a specialist hospital staff. They think that this investment will have a higher sales. Have a prashnayak thiyena. 3C is aware that one of its competitors are actively promoting the rival product. They have a substitute. The directors can invest in a final stage of the clinical trials of gamma. This is a breakthrough drug, a new drug. That means, as it has no rivals, no near rivals, gamma is used for the treatment of HIV and offers significant better success rates than treatment currently available. The team of 3C specialists managing the development of gamma is confident it can successfully complete clinical trials within 6 months. The team is also believes that gamma should be sold at the lowest price possible to maximize the benefit of gamma to society. However, marketing department of 3C believes that it would be possible to earn a very large profits from gamma due to the success rate and the breakthrough status. Right. So guys, what you have to do in section B, see, look at the word. The word is evaluate. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ investments තුන මොන investment එකද හොඳ කියලා කියන්න තමයි තියෙන්නේ. Evaluate the potential impact. හැබැයි අපි මේක evaluate කරන විදිහක් තියෙනවා. There is a way of evaluating this. You have to show the pros and cons, good side and bad side, what will work, what will not work. ඔය කතා ටික ඔක්කොම you have to write it down in a very professional and formal manner. So how are you going to do that? So can you take about 2-3 minutes and jot down some answer points. Right, so let's look at the evaluation and let's see how we go about it. So guys, this is the answer for question 1 part B. It says, evaluate the potential impact of each of the 3 investment options alpha, beta and gamma. The product portfolio of 3C is referring to your answer in part A above. So let's look at the first one. The 3 investments are alpha, beta and gamma. Then investing in alpha 2 will allow 3C to reposition alpha to an early maturity stage of the product life cycle. As the new product has completed clinical trials, this investment is likely to be low risk. Then අපි අත්තන බැලුවොත් alpha ඉන්නේ late maturity. එතකොට අපි මේකට invest කරලා, if we put money into this, it will come to early maturity and then you can be there for a long time, because as I said, maturity level එකේ there are many products. Maturity එකේ there are so many that is there for a long time. This will have a positive effect on the product portfolio, as it will allow alpha to continue to generate significant cash flows for a further 5 years unless a superior rival product is launched. However, the imminent launch of generic copies of the original alpha may threaten this drug market leading position. So, what we are trying to say here is this will have a positive effect. Alpha will generate or it will continue to generate cash flows, but then there is a risk of a superior rival product being launched. However, the imminent launch of the generic copies of the original alpha may threaten this drug market leading position. So, there is a small risk there. But let's look at what happens to beta. Beta, they want to do a promotional campaign. Investment in marketing for beta should lead to sales growth. Therefore, take the product from the introduction to early maturity. However, there are two major risks. Firstly, the marketing program may not succeed and sales revenue may not be significant enough to pay back the investment. Secondly, the investment may be wasted if a rival product is subsequently launched. So, I think we have been talking about these rival products and how it works. So, that is a bit of a concern, as to how the rival products works and how it works overall. Gamma, this is a drug represents the highest risk investment. Even with the investment, there are no certainty that Gamma will successfully complete its final stage of clinical trials and reach product launch. However, the returns from any breakthrough drug are likely to be very significant. Breakthrough product is a new product. So, it's a kind of a new product. It's not kind of a new, it's definitely a new product. So, the returns of these new products are very significant, substantial. 3C may also consider the relationship between gamma and beta. If beta is not successful, the portfolio will lack an introduction stage product, thus making investment in gamma more important. So, I think overall we have evaluated the the good side and the bad side, how things will work, how things will not work. So, this is what we do in a evaluation. In the evaluation, we look at how things will move forward, how things will go back, how things will be successful, how things will be unsuccessful. And you have to write all of this in your answer. The evaluation we always need to talk about how things will work. You will always have to talk about how things will not work. Evaluation evaluation we cannot write about the good things. Evaluation we should not only write about the bad things. Good and bad. Show both sides of the coin. You have to show both sides of the coin. So, that is an important area to consider, and I think you got a really good idea regarding that point if you really look at it, right. So, there you go, that is the answer for question number 1B, and now you can read question number 2. Yeah, this is question number 2. I think this is a question from segmentation, targeting and positioning. I think this is a better question. You can go for this let's do question number 3. Let's go for question number 3, which is on the Porter's generic strategy. Question number 3. Let's start with the requirement. It says, identify 2 models that the team could use to analyze the external environment. Briefly explain these models. Briefly explain the models. External environment screen කරන models ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. Pest is one. Political, economical, socio-cultural, technological, ecological, then legal. Then you get the Porter's 5 forces. We can use Porter's generic strategy. We can use blue ocean, red ocean. All these are different ways of identifying the relevant model. Part 2. Explain how these models could assist the team in formulating wedding packages, a wedding package strategy for the futurist hotel. Explain how an understanding of Porter's 3 generic competitive strategies could help the team design a successful wedding package strategy for the futurist hotel. So part 2, advise the team how information system strategies could support the 3 generic strategies of 3 competitive generic strategies. Okay. Let's look at the first part. CB is recently a qualified chartered accountant. He has just started a job as a marketing accountant for a newly built hotel, the Futurist. Currently, the Futurist has no marketing staff. Newly built hotel, Alut hotel. Now, you need to pick. Now, always, guys, when you're reading the question, it is 100% necessary for you to have an idea of the substance of the setting of the industry, and you need to have a similar company in your head. Newly built hotel, if you take something like Shangri-La, it's a newly built hotel. If you take Shangri-La, is a big hotel that was newly built in Sri Lanka. But I think if you just consider the weddings that you have visited, if you consider the certain functions you have been to in the hotels that for the the functions that you have been to, you will have a really good idea of of a newly built hotel, and how does the hotel work, how does it function, what are the key products offered, what is the industry, how does the industry look like, whom do you bring into these places. All these things can be evaluated through initial screening. Now it says the hotel which has not yet opened for business intends to generate profits from its rooms and its restaurants. However, the hotels in the local area get much business by providing a wedding package. Then it says the hotel which has not yet opened for business intends to generate the profit from its rooms and its restaurants. Okay. So currently they get the money from the rooms and the restaurants that they have. Very clear. It can be a buffet, it can be a la carte, it can be anything. However, other hotels in the local area get much business by providing a wedding package. So it's a wedding package. A wedding package usually includes the provision of a venue for the wedding. Again, you should wedding package you give the relevant venue, a banquet hall, a meal. So you get dinner, lunch. Likewise, it's either mostly dinner or lunch. A meal for the wedding guests, entertainment after the wedding. Then after the wedding normally you get married at the wedding, and after everything is over, towards the latter part, you get the entertainment. Overnight accommodation, that means the bride and groom can stay there. For the bride and groom, accommodation, because after the wedding, normally the bride and groom stays in a hotel. These competitor, so this is what is included in the wedding package. Wedding package venue එක දෙනවා, meal එක දෙනවා, meal එක included. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් මේගොල්ලෝ price එක charge කරන්නේ මේ ඔක්කොමටම. venue එකට, meal එකට, meal for the number of guests, entertainment උත් දෙනවා ඒ package එක. overnight accommodation එකක් දෙනවා. So this is what you get in the wedding package. These competitors hotels market their weddings in a number of different ways. One hotel, the Deluxe, situated in the castle in a beautiful rural setting, charges a minimum price of rupees 10 million for its wedding package, which includes a meal for 100 guests, rooms for a bridal party of 10 guests for one night. 10 million is a big amount even now. 10 million rupees, 10 million. I would say in Sri Lanka, average family, for a wedding, maybe it will cost about, I don't know, about 30 lakhs. It will cost you about, 30 lakhs. So you are looking at something like 3 million. I would say 3 to 4 million, but 10 million would be, a luxury status. 10 million is a lot of money, that is 100 lakhs. So, anyway, the Deluxe has won many international awards for its food and the high standard of its facilities and bedrooms. In contrast, another competitor hotel, the Royal Albert, offers its wedding package for 100 guests for a total cost of 200,000 with no overnight accommodation, so provided with the basic price. The Royal Albert is a budget hotel situated next to the busy transport interchange in the nearby town. There are another 5 hotels which the futurists regards as competitors. So Deluxe තියෙනවා එක luxury එකක්, Royal Albert එක තියෙනවා budget hotel එකක්, and තව 7ක් තියෙනවා. There are another 5 hotels, sorry, තව 5ක් තියෙනවා. So altogether 5 2 7යි, they have given us information which futurists regards as competitors. These other hotels charge between 7,000 to 10,000 for each guest attending the wedding at their hotel. CB has been asked to join a team consisting of the hotel's general manager and restaurants manager to formulate a strategy to the futurists to offer a wedding package. Right, very clear. Then I will teach you another technique, guys. This is a very important area. After you read the question, you should have a very good idea about what they have presented to you. After you read the question, you should have a really good idea on what they have given you. No, they have given you information is given regarding a hotel. Then they give you that in this hotel they are focusing on wedding packages. Then they have given you what is included in the wedding package. And then they give you information about competitors, the Deluxe, the Royal Albert, and 5 other hotels. And now you want to construct a strategy. So guys, even without looking at the answer, I have already saved the macro view, or I have saved a macro picture. I have formed a macro picture, of this question. So the very moment you form a macro picture of this question, it is very easy for you to go about it. So now let's look at the first part of this question. It says, identify 2 models that the team could use to analyze the external environment. Briefly explain the models. Okay. This was question number 3, so we skipped this question number 2 and question number 3. This is question number 2, question number 2. There you go, question number 3. Yeah, question number 3. The reason I think why I am bringing this is because this this is Porter's 5 forces. Right? Identify 2 models that the team could use to analyze the external environment. Yeah, I think initially when I was talking, I said, it's like this. The 2 models that you can go about would be, yes, one is Porter's 5 forces and the other one is the Pest Analysis. Yes. Yeah, I think I made a mistake in the previous one. If you take something like Porter's generic strategy, it's a strategy that you can do. It's not a model to screen the external environment. But of course, pestle analysis and the Porter's 5 forces will screen the environment for you. Yeah, I have to correct that, because even if you take blue ocean, red ocean, it talks about how you can form a strategy to win over your competitors. And if you take Porter's generic strategy, it's all about how you can go. Even if you take Bowman's strategy clock, it talks about the strategy that you can form. It's not strategy. I think I misread it. Here they are talking about how you can screen the environment. So, in terms of screening the environment, the correct models would be pestle and Porter's 5 forces. But anyway, let's just discuss about it. The pestle model, of course, is something that we already know. Let's do a small discussion, because we did not discuss it in our previous lectures. The pest analysis. What is the pest analysis? This is an analysis. This analysis is essential for an organization before beginning its marketing process. Consists of internal environment and external environment. So, PEST stands for political, economical, socio-cultural and technological. There is an extended version of this called PESTL, which brings ecological and legal. But anyway, political, it talks about the regulations for business, how stable the political environment is. Now, if you take in a country like Sri Lanka, political environment is not that stable. So, tourists as well as foreign investors will be reluctant to come. Influence on the government policies, government's position, government's policies on the economy. Is it an economy that will encourage free trade? Is it an economy that will discourage free trade? Things like that. Government's view on culture and under religion. So, this is a prominent area that we are facing as at now in Sri Lanka. There are certain mismatches, discrepancies in terms of certain religions and how extremist they are. Anyway, political factors, political system is responsible for law making. Immediate law which affects any business in general, central exercises, sales tax, excise tax, things like that. Environmental protection, no. When you are doing a business, you have to be very mindful about how you will pollute the environment, how you could protect the environment. If you are polluting the environment, what measures you could take to safeguard as well as to protect the environment. These are things that you need to be aware of. Controls, if any, on marketing strategies. I think it's very clear. These political factors are very clear. Control pricing. I have given you some more policies. Economic. It's about the economic sector of the country. Banking, interest rates, exchange rates, exports, imports, inflation, labor policies, things like that. Level of government spending, capital creation, business cycles, monsoons, energy, cost of energy, infrastructure. There you go. Socio-cultural, demographic. What is the male to female ratio in Sri Lanka? What is the senior citizens to junior, the younger generation? Distribution of income. Is there a mismatch? What is the gap between the rich and the poor? What is the gap between the gap between the rich and the poor? social mobility, lifestyle changes. Now guys, if you take in Sri Lanka, many people now, we are used to a more westernized. Now, I'll give you a good example for this lifestyle change, because yesterday when I was driving, I saw a lady who was driving a trishaw. So, if you didn't see that about 5-10 years back, you did not see, ladies driving trishaws, a three-wheeler. But I saw a lady driving and at several situations I saw, women, doing this. So, I think it is a kind of a lifestyle change, because women also now has, come into the scenario where, they think that they need to, use their labor and, earn money. So, it was not there some time back, which is a very common thing in the Western world, but not in Asian countries, but it is happening. Consumerism, education levels, all these are socio-cultural. Demographic and distribution of income. Now, here we are talking about, on how people look at the distribution of income as a cultural element. Now guys, if you take in Sri Lanka, we know that most of the politicians, they get the money because they have a flock around them, and they, fund them money. I mean, you give them money, and when you give them money, they will always vote for you. These people are very poor. They don't have to eat. They're suffering from poverty. And the politicians, when the election is nearby, get the entire lot. They will get the entire flock. Give them a good party, and ask them to vote for them, and they win. And forever, these guys are poor. And the politicians, they keep on winning elections over elections, and they are corrupted, and corruption levels are skyrocketing. Lifestyle changes, yes. Different age groups, attitude of living, different age groups in tune with available disposable income, thrust on taking care of present needs, joint living, availability of various media tools, reach of the media. Yeah, people are now into Facebook, Instagram, things like that. Advantage of technology in terms of economies of scale, new discoveries, innovations, and things like that. And you got other factors as well. Anyway, Porter's 5 forces, let's go through it. Porter's 5 forces talks about 5 elements. There you go. Threat of new entrants. Threat of new entrants. Let's put this. Then we have bargaining power of suppliers. So this is the second one. Then we have threat of substitutes. Then we have bargaining power of customers. And then finally, we have the competitive rivalry within the industry. This is the 5th point. So, the Porter's 5 forces talks about 5 forces that will influence your degree of competition. We will go through that one by one. Yeah. පළවෙනි එක, threats of new entrants. දැන් මේ Porter's 5 forces එකකින් කියලා දෙන්නේ, ඒ කියන්නේ if you focus, if you target, if you analyze these 5 elements, you will be able to compete well. If you focus and if you target these 5 forces that Michael Porter is stressing, you will be able to compete well. Now, you know that in all industries, you have rivals, competitors. There are products which are substitutes for you. Singer and Arbans. These are main, but there are so many. Apple and Samsung. Dialog Mobitel in Sri Lanka. So there are rivalries. But you will be able to be successful if you focus on these areas. So how do you be successful when it comes to competition? The easier it is for new companies to enter the industry, the more cutthroat competition there will be. Yes, ඒ කියන්නේ companies වලට ලේසියෙන් ඒ industry එකට එන්න පුළුවන් නම් the competition will be fierce. Then අපි බැලුවොත් why did this three-wheel guys, why do they oppose Uber and Pick Me? මොකද easiest way to enter the industry. Now guys, those days three-wheel, if you want to get money out of three-wheel, you need to have a good stand. So you have to be friendly with the people and you need to book a place. So there are certain places where people come to get three-wheelers. It might be a junction, it might be the end of a lane, it might be a certain place like that. But thanks to Uber and Pick Me, එහෙම junction එක කට්ටියත් එක එහෙම ඉන්න ඕනේ. Uber එක app එක තියෙනවා. They hire you as a driver, you get registered and you get enough of hires, and it is a very easy way. Now even I can go. If I wanted to enter the if I wanted to have my vehicle being driven under the Uber or Pick Me, I can do it now. It's a matter of time installing the app and paying that relevant registration fee and entering the industry. I'll be a person who is in that in that particular industry. So basically it's like this. No, if you take Uber is a travel company, right? But if you take the three-wheeler industry के firms වෙන්නේ three-wheelers ටික. එතකොට අපි ගත්තොත් if you take taxis, cabs industry ke firms වෙන්නේ cabs ටික. So the more cabs that comes easily into the industry, that will be fierce competition, cutthroat, threats of new entrants. How loyal are the end users in this industry? That is a point. Now, if you are a person who likes Uber, you will always go for Uber. එතකොට ඔයාට බය නැති වෙන්න තියෙන්නේ. You will not have an issue if your customers are loyal for you. If the customer says, "Aluten කට්ටිය එන්න පුළුවන්, but I will always go for this." Now there will be so many supermarkets that will come in Sri Lanka. I heard the Softlogics have their own. They are hoping to come with their own supermarket. I don't know if they have launched it already. We have Laugh, we have Cargills, we have Keels. But if you say, no, I like Keels, how many supermarkets? There will be many supermarkets that will come, but it's okay. How troublesome or hard it is for the end user to switch and use another product. Now guys, certain products are there, you are so aligned into it. Now I would say, let's take it like this. Let's say you are using the Dialog Wi-Fi. Dialog Wi-Fi එකට කැමති නැති එක්කෙනා, now he wants to buy a Lanka Bell one. Now Dialog Wi-Fi එකේ certain elements වලට හුරු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. Example, you want to check the data from your mobile phone, you can go through the Dialog app and check the data. එතකොට ලංකා බෙල් එකේ එහෙම ඇප් එකක් තියෙනවද? එහෙම කොච්චරක් data consume කරලා තියෙනවද කියලා බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? අන්න ඒකට people might be a bit reluctant because you are used to that. This is what we call as switching. People, when you are used to one way, you will not like to switch. Now let's say, now we have face-to-face lectures. එකපාරට අපි කියනවා webinar එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා. හරි, we say that we have a online lecture. But in a face-to-face lecture, maybe certain students are very comfortable in asking a question from the lecturer, maybe sending a cheat. But can you do that in online? If can, better. If you cannot, then you don't like to switch. අන්න ඒක තමයි උතන තියෙන කතාව. Whether you like to switch on or not because you're used to a particular product. Does it require large seed capital to enter the industry? Yes. How much of money do you need? That is another point. එතකොට අපි දන්නවා දැන් TV company එකක් කරන්න you need a huge capital for a TV company. There is a massive capital that you need. එතකොට ඒ වගේ industry එකට enter වෙනවා කියන එක lazy දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. ඇයි? If you want to start a commercial bank in Sri Lanka, huge capital. Lazy එක enter වෙන්න බෑ. But something like Uber, දැන් තියෙනවා Uber Eats bike එකක් විතරයි ඕනේ. Bike එකක් ගත්ත කාගෙන් හරි Uber Eats එකට ගියා. How hard is it to gain access to the distribution channels? Then what product එක හැදුවා කියමුකෝ ඒක විකුණන්න distribution channels තියෙනවා. Now let's say I come up with a new toothpaste, but can I sell it to Skills? Can I sell it to Cargills? Can I sell it to Laugh? පුළුවන් නම් හොඳයි. බැරි නම් there is issue. එතකොට බැරි නම් කට්ටිය එන්නේ නැහැ. පුළුවන් නම් තමයි කට්ටිය එන්නේ. How long does it take for a new staff to acquire the necessary skills to do the work? Right. Then, guys, if you take something like I want to start a chartered accounts tuition place. So I have the lecturers. I will have to get the lecturers, and let's say I know the lecturers, I can get them. Then I need some people to mark cards. I need some people at the accounts to record the fees. I need someone to to get the rooms, the classroom sorted, things like that. ඒ skills එක එච්චර අමාරු නෑ. පටන් ගන්නකොට ඕන එක්කෙනෙක්ට කියන්න බෑ මේ classroom එකේ මෙහෙම තියන්න, white board එක මෙහෙම තියන්න, මෙහෙම cards mark කරන්න, that is okay. Now let's say I wanted to start a TV studio, a TV company. I need creative directors, I need a camera crew, I need a studio, I need lot of things that I don't know. එතකොට ඒ වගේ එකක් පටන් ගන්න ඒ වගේ industry එකට enter වෙන අමාරුයි because you need to have specific skills for that. ඒ skills ටික නැත්නම් ඒකට enter වෙන්න අමාරුයි. So that is the meaning of threats of new entrants. I think you get the idea, right? Here I think I have given you a small example. The threat of new entrants in the fast food industry is high because there are no legal barriers. The economies of scale and the access, you can fast food එකට legal barriers නෑ ඕන කෙනෙක්ට පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. Economies of scale and the access of the distribution of the major barriers. Economies of scale එක තමයි major issue එක because if you take a place like McDonald's, they do it in large scale, so per unit cost is less. Lot of amounts are spent on advertising and marketing. Large established companies with strong brand, so you can fast food company එකට again if you are into fast food, you should have big budgets for advertising. හැම දෙයක්ම advertising නේ. ඔය burger එකක් ගත්තත් even if you buy a burger, the burger is not given in a silly bag. The burger is given in a nice box where you have McDonald's brand written all over it. It is very nice. It looks very good. So they spend, and it is a very quality. It's a very quality box. A box එක හරි quality විදියට හදලා තියෙනවා. So they spend a lot of money on branding. Large established companies with strong brand names such as McDonald's make it more difficult to enter the market because new entrants are faced with price competition from the existing chains. Yes. Then අපි බැලුවොත් ඔය advertising budget එකයි promotion budget එකයි එක promotions උත් ගේනවනේ මේකලෝ. Buy one get one free, buy 3 burgers get 1 burger free ඔය වගේ කතා ගේනවා. And if you look at the advertising is crazy. TV advertising, Facebook advertising, influencer advertising, you name it. Then the billboards, cutouts. Then for the products, when you buy the product, sometimes as I said in the box, when you get the burger, the wrapping, the bags, then the outlets, the screen, place you sit, the tray, wherever you look, it's advertising. එතකොට එච්චර ලොකු ඇඩ්වර්ටයිසින් බජට් එකක් දීලා they are able to sell a burger, I don't know, burger එකක් රුපියල් 550 කියලා හිතන්නකෝ. එච්චර ලොකු cost එකකුත් think කරලා burger එකක් 550කට අලුතෙන් එන එක්කෙනෙක්ට විකුණන්න පුළුවන්ද? අන්න එතන තමයි point එක තියෙන්නේ. එහෙම විකුණන්න පුළුවන් නම් threat එකක් නැහැ. එහෙම විකුණන්න බැරි නම් threat එකක් තියෙනවා. එච්චර ලොකු ඇඩ්වර්ටයිසින් බජට් එකක් උත් වියදම් කරලා after spending that much for advertising, can you sell a burger like McDonald's for 550? විකුණන්න පුළුවන් නම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. විකුණන්න බැරි නම් ඒක issue එකක්. එතකොට ඒක threat එකක්. That is a threat of a new entrance. That means the existing companies are, it's a kind of a barrier that they have formed. Thus it takes pretty much time for a new business to. ඒකින්ද තමයි ඔය fast food companies වල ගොඩක් අඩුයි. If you take මොනවාද fast food companies තියෙන්නේ? Subway, McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut. Those are the popular ones in Sri Lanka. ඒ වගේ ඔය පොඩි තියෙන Arthur's Pizza, ඒ වගේ පොඩි තියෙන. But you don't get fast food chains branded. You don't get branded fast food chains like 50, 100 fast food chains in Sri Lanka. No, you get only a handful. මම හිතන්නේ 10ට වඩා අඩුයි. අතේ ඇඟිලි ගන්නට වඩා අඩුයි. Why is that? Threats of new entrants. So guys, that is a very classic point. Threats of new entrants. So I think it is very clear. Let's move into the next one. Threat of substitutes. Threats of substitutes, Porter's theory actually means goods and services that does similar functions. How many close substitutes are available? දැන් මේකේ අපි firm එක විතරක් නෙවෙයි බලන්නේ. දැන් අපි substitutes කියලා ගත්තාම අපි බලනවා close and distant substitutes උත් බලනවා. So, oops, if you take this is, there's a small typo here, yeah, let me correct it. Price of the substitutes, yes. Right, okay guys, now, අපි මෙතන threat of substitutes කියලා කියන්නේ මෙන්න මෙහෙම කතාවක්. How many close substitutes? අපි ගත්තොත් if you take something like Uber, if you want to travel by Uber, you can travel by Uber. Pick me is a close substitute. On top of that, you can travel by bus. You can travel by bus. You can travel by train. එතන ඔක්කොම ඒවා close substitutes. Price of a substitute. දැන් අපි Uber එකට pick me තමයි substitute කියලා හිතන්නේ. එහෙමම නෙවෙයි. දැන් ඔයාලට Uber එකෙන් යන්නත් පුළුවන්. Pick me එකෙන් යන්නත් පුළුවන්. Train එකෙන් යන්නත් පුළුවන්. Bus එකෙන් යන්නත් පුළුවන්. You can go like that. Then some other countries, you can travel by car, you can take a domestic flight. If you take in places like Canada, UK, domestic flight take it is very cheap for you to go for take a domestic flight rather than, and domestic flights may, it's not like in Asian countries. Asian countries are domestic flights, it is very few countries have, I think, domestic flights. But, it's very constant and frequent. What is the perceived quality of the substitute? Right. The quality ka balana da api balana Uber ke apita puluwa. If you take in Sri Lanka, මිනිස්සු බලන්නේ Uber එකේ ගියොත් ගාන අඩුයි AC තියෙනවා. It's very comfortable. It's air conditioned. It's very comfortable. But if you take the railway, ගාන අඩුයි. නමුත් it's like going in a roller coaster because it's very crowded, no AC, sweating, and do you want to go to work in a place like that? So threats of substitutes will also determine your degree of competition. Within Google, Yahoo, Google Plus, all these are substitutes. The Google wala tibbanne social media wage ekak, I can't remember the name of that, Google Plus or something like that. So Yahoo used to have their email, Gmail by Google. G+. And there you go, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Intensity of rivalry among the established firms. This is another variable. අපි දැන් දෙකක් කතා කරා, මේ තුන්වෙනි එක. How many close competitors exist in the industry? What are the sizes of your close competitors? කී දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද? අපි ගත්තොත් TV channels, Hero, Swarnavahini, Sirasa, Derana, Rupavahini, ITN. How many are there can import? What are the sizes? අපි ගත්තොත් TV stations වල නම් everyone is having a similar size. දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් mobile networks, Dialog and Mobitel has a very large market share. අනිත් කට්ටියට පොඩි market share එකක් තියෙනවා. What is the industry structure? Is it a fragmented, consolidated, oligopoly or monopoly? Very clear. That we done Ceylon Electricity Board monopoly. Now they have another one. What is the current industry growth rate? Samarak industries grow very high. The growth rate is very high. Sometimes these are growing very overall it's growing very low. How high are the existing barriers? How diversified? How competitors aim to serve different needs? So I think all these are important points. Intensity of rivalry among your Subway, KFC, Pizza Hut. These are the firms. What I have given you are the firms in the fast food industry. Next one, bargaining power of customers. Yes. How large your buyers company? Then මෙහෙමයි නේ අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම if they buy a small amount from you, bargaining power is less. If they buy a lot from you, bargaining power is high. දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම Clogard Signal ඕවා ගොඩක් වෙන්නේ B2B නේ. You sell it to the supermarkets. Supermarkets ලොකු ගාණක් ගන්නවා නම් if they buy in bulk, then they have the bargaining power. ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන බල අපිට මේ price එක නැත්තම් අපි මෙච්චරක් ගන්නෙ නැහැ කියලා. But if you take something like fast food, it is the general public that come and buy. අපි එක්කෙනෙක් pieces කොච්චරක් ගන්නවද කියන එක small number නේ. Because one person's pizza consumption from the total pizza consumption is less. එතකොට bargaining power එකක් නෑ. යාට මුකුත් කියන්න බෑ. But B2B වෙන ඒවා. අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම Clogard, Signal, the toothpaste, if you take something like, I don't know, most of the FMCG products, if the supermarkets are buying, they buy a large quantity. Then they have the bargaining power. How many companies are there for the buyer? Are the buyers buying a huge volume? Or you depend only on a few buyers? What a bargaining power ගොඩක් වෙන්නේ. So that will also determine your level of competition. How hard is it for the buyers to switch? Same point, we discussed that before. Are the buyers purchasing from you as well as your competitors? Then comes bargaining power of suppliers. So guys, I think by now we have discussed three situations of the Porter's 5 forces. So we will wind up our session for today, and we will discuss the remaining 2, and we will go to the question and dig deep into this in our next lecture. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope that it benefited you. All the best. Cheers. Bye bye.